up to the boys. Fox and Shane, set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but a pretty town red. Can't let that go down in my head, war gaming.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Hobby Homies. We are your weekly tabletop podcast. I'm Shane, hanging out with Fox. And of course, we have got Churchy
In the void.
in the void. Get joined by Rory, freshly.
He's not going so good.
What would you say? Freshly
showered.
Babe.
revitalized.
Yeah.
Yep.
My man's has some sort of allergies or something and decided to go outside and blast him in the face. Help me.
Spit it out, dude. Get on with
Help
it.
me. Spit it out. Get on with it. He decided to blast himself in the face with the hose. That's why it's so late now outside.
You know what? And he didn't even give himself like a bit of a test run to see how much pressure was in there. He just went full,
Nah.
like, copped it.
Yeah, and that first one was like real close to his face. I saw the second one was a little further away, so obviously I had some regrets. But today on this episode,
We are talking about CanCon, Australia's largest wargaming convention.
are you asking a question?
No.
Then why does it sound like you've got a question mark? No. Yeah, we are. It's like a tabletop convention.
Yeah. Yep.
It would have to be Australia's largest. I can't think of any that are larger.
No. Absolutely
bigger.
not. Especially with all the games being played there at the time.
Oh, have you smelt this?
No, I haven't.
So we've just cracked these brewskis. This, because we're talking about CanCon, we're also going to just like talk about our trip up there, our trip back, all the
Yep.
shenanigans we got up to. So this is like crack a brew, have a listen, pretend you were there with us.
Join us.
Join us. Join our adventure as we go through it in very specific details. But we did, upon the way home, stumble upon a place called Tabletop.
Yeah. Tabletop New South Wales.
And there was a pub there called the... Say it, Shane?
The Etamoga pub,
Sure.
which is language for a place of good drink.
And so we got this good drink, but it
Yeah.
smells funny.
It's a dry lager.
Oh, okay. Do you like it?
Tastes good.
You guys like it?
I like
it's
it, yeah.
good.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's garbage. So, actually, it tastes like... It does taste like it's fruity. It's a little bit fruity. Anyway,
You'd expect that from a pale ale,
Tastes
though,
like
not
juice.
a lager.
that's true. It's very pale ale-esque in its appearance. So, we drove up there.
True.
It's an 8-hour drive from where we live.
Actually, like 7.
Actually, 7. Yeah, it was very surprising on
But
the way
it
home.
took us like 10 hours.
It did take us 10. What did we do on the way up? I think I had some notes.
So we were sort of behind the 8 ball when we started.
Yes.
We wanted to be on the road by 9.
That was
we
the
weren't
goal.
really on the road till probably like 10:15.
It's kind of like our podcast episodes. We want to start it at 8. What is it now?
9:30.
Yeah.
Getting there.
yeah.
10 past 9. So this is
Yeah.
a good night for us. Like, we actually started before 10.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Well, take it. This is a W.
Yeah, that's a win.
Yep, we did. We loaded up. We had to... So it was you, me, Rory, and
Yep.
all of our stuff loaded
much
into your
stuff.
Hilux
Yep.
with your frudge.
Yep.
And we were a bit cramped for space, so we didn't take too many models and things.
It was pretty tight. I feel like next time, can't bring models. Just
That's
can't.
fair.
It's too far.
And also
Too
don't
much.
need to. Like when we went over to MJ's, which we'll talk about later,
Oh, yeah.
there was more than enough stuff for
Yeah.
us to play with. We didn't
Yeah.
we didn't touch our models.
We actually didn't.
Yeah, so we don't need to bring those. But
Lesson learned.
I did have the whole trip, my Star Wars minis were magnetized to a baking tray and they were just on a 45-degree angle the whole trip.
And they survived.
They did survive. So that's good. I like that. I have notes for when we went up there.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
stopped
yeah.
at a place called Euroa.
Euroa. Yeah, we checked out the old Euroa pub.
We checked out the old Euroa pub.
That's what I said.
No, I'm correcting you. I know what you meant, but I'm
That's what I said
correcting you.
verbatim.
Well, I'm not so sure. Did
quoted
you
him.
mean the one where we had a burger?
No, I meant the old.
You should have said old. I would have known.
Of course.
Anyways, there was an old Euro pub that we thought, this looks cool because like half of it's abandoned and apparently half you can drink in. And it's cool to like walk around and see this abandoned pub, but then also still drink there.
Turns out it was all abandoned.
Yeah, and there was no drinking. Although there was still like those like wine barrel things at the back. We kind of like, I don't think we broke in per se.
People charge so much for them.
Yeah, it's like
We could
$300
just
a pop.
chucked a couple in the back of the ute. If there was room.
If there was room, yeah.
those models
if
in
we
the way.
ditched the models, but then we sell the barrels and we buy the models and then we have to pay them again. It's
It's a
probably
vicious
not.
cycle.
Roof racks next time so we can go past and pick up those barrels.
Done.
What else? We saw the submarine.
We saw the submarine at Holbrook.
Yeah.
It's about half. Was it halfway? No, it's probably. Oh, it's probably 3/4 of the way
it's-
from Melbourne to Canberra.
Was that like a real sub at one point?
Apparently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I mean, like, there wasn't much left of it. It was just like the shell.
Yeah, and maybe even just like the top of it.
Yeah,
Like-
like the top, like, I don't know, fifth of it.
Yeah, I was going to say fifth. There you go. Look at that.
Nostradamus over here, bro.
Well, okay. All right. Yeah, it was very cool. It was obviously that I remember they had an old sign there that said, what did it say? It was like,
the virus.
yeah, it was like, only one person on deck at a time. Assume everyone in front of you has the virus.
Yeah, like
I was like, what
that's
about the people
aged
behind
like
us?
milk.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
It's like, it's still relevant. Yeah, maybe, but now we don't care anymore.
exactly.
Yeah, they
Yep.
got the virus.
Everyone's got the virus.
But I love that it said everyone in front of you has the virus. I was
Mm.
like, so behind me, everything's.
Yeah, but I
fine?
mean, but you're off the shit by the time they're on there.
What if I turn around?
You can't. It's against the rules. Dude.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
My bad.
Yeah.
So we traveled that whole day. We finally get to our campsite.
Yep.
Late.
It was late. It was like pushing like what 8:30 ish, 9 o'clock. It was actually starting to get dark.
Yeah, it was. There was a big swirly, scary cloud.
Crowd. Yep.
Crowd. The crowd was swirling around us.
Yep. The weather held though.
It did. We set up our tents
No swags.
and our swags. Oh, thanks, Churchy, for lending me your tent, blow up mattress, sleeping bag.
Literally everything.
I'm surprised.
That's actually why Churchy couldn't come.
Yeah.
He sacrificed himself so you could go.
Yeah, you guys were like, Churchy, you coming? He's like, I can't anymore. I don't have any stuff.
Had I have known Churchy, you could have bunked with me in my swag.
Very tight.
Yeah.
So
It
anyway.
was so hot that night. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah, that first night was
so muggy.
You guys had it worse. Like, Churchy's got a fantastic tent. It just it regulates the temp so well.
Me and Rory and our swags.
Cooking.
We were laying in like coffins.
You guys were like, did you have it yours open?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Just a window.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys had windows.
Yeah, we got windows, bro.
Get the fancy pants. Yeah, I was cooking. So anyway, long day. We set up, go to sleep. Well, we knocked some back.
We had
Then
a few beers.
then we
I
go
used
to
my
sleep.
awning for the first time.
Yeah, it was cool.
I put that thing on there like 6 months ago.
And never used it.
Never. There was still not bubble wrap, that foam. You know, protective foam. That
Oh,
in
right.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Still inside.
Did it sprinkled that first night too, didn't we? And we all fit perfectly, all three of us, under
Yep.
the awning. So
Yep.
it was a godsend. God himself sent your awning.
He sent me to Anaconda to buy it.
Yeah.
With my own money.
Was it
What a tight
discounted?
ass.
Was it discounted at all?
I mean, yeah, because I'm an Anaconda member.
Well. Thanks, Chief.
The big guy got me.
He's got you. You're an Anaconda member. As he foreseed.
I don't know, dude. I
and he
feel like
alloweth.
I got played.
Yeah, well, it worked. All three of us fit, God willing. And,
Yep.
and then day two. Day two was CanCon.
Oh, man.
Oh, actually, I just remembered something.
Oh, we went for a walk.
Yeah, big old stroll.
I felt like the whole time we were walking through there at night, I felt like we were breaking the law.
Yeah, the whole trip
There was no-
kind of had that theme.
There's no fences, though.
We just kind of went wherever we wanted. Like even that pub, when we saw it, we're like, let's go through it.
Yeah, there was temp fencing around it, except there was an opening in front of the front door.
It was inviting us in.
It was literally,
It's
the
like,
door was
come
open.
have a look.
The door was open.
The door was open. That's not
Yeah.
on us. And then like, I remember the pigeon flew over you. Anyways.
Oh, man, that was like classic, like abandoned building,
It
haunted
was.
building.
It
Like,
was quiet.
oh, and all of a
Hear
sudden,
footsteps.
yeah. Exactly
Yeah.
like that, dude. You should be that guy from, what's that old movie? Police Academy.
I haven't seen it. Is he a pigeon?
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Detective Pigeon.
Is he actually?
Yeah. You should
Is he
watch
an
it.
actual
Yeah,
pigeon?
watch it, yeah.
Is he? Have you guys seen it? Is he having me on? Is he actually a pigeon?
Yeah.
Damn, that's really cool. That's my favorite job and animal.
Yeah.
Detective and pigeon.
Detective Pigeon. Check it out.
All right. Anyways.
It's called Police Academy.
Okay. Okay, Chief.
Got you, dude.
We did go for a stroll because we drove from Victoria to Canberra.
Yep.
6, 7, 10 hours.
It was a long drive.
And we stayed at a campsite that was on the same grounds as the convention.
Yeah, it was.
The convention happened at what was called Epic Exhibition Center. and we stayed at Epic Campgrounds,
Yep.
which is all on one big ground. So we were like, well, we've set up. It's nighttime. It's warm. Let's go for a stroll. Let's see if we can see CanCon. And we could just walk through it.
We grabbed a couple of beers and went for a wander.
Yeah.
And then we sort
walkabout.
of, the whole time we're walking, like straight away, I was like, we've gone the wrong way.
Yeah.
But we just kept trucking, and then we came across the second-hand stall in all its glory.
Yeah, we could just like look into every building, probably illegally. We saw some rooms were still like open. This is what, 10 o'clock at night?
Yeah,
maybe?
with lights on.
People setting up. We heard
Yeah.
people talking. So obviously they were setting up for CanCon the next day.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty cool experience. Like we saw the big CanCon banner that they put up, and we were able to walk through and get a bearing of where everything was before we showed up at 8:30 the next day.
Yeah, because we would have been lost.
Yeah, we would have.
Yeah.
So it was good, and we sort of tracked our best attack pattern for the morning. So when the sun arose and the cocks doodled,
We
our
arose
doodles
as well.
cocked, and we we strolled on down to CanCon.
Yeah.
A 10-minute walk.
Yeah, we swung past the servo there,
Yep.
grabbed a danky.
Classic. It was
then-
good. So what was the first thing we did? We strolled in. We went into
Traders
the Traders
right?
Hall.
Well, first we saw that guy at the booth who had the map.
Oh yeah,
Then we're kind of like, oh, okay, we're in the wrong section.
yeah. We're in
Because
like
that was where all the tournaments were going to be.
for sure.
So we sort of went to the next building and then found the Traders Hall. And first thing we did was chuck a lefty. And then there was the War Library selling all these random sprues of anything you could ever want.
That's right, because you walk in, to your left is the War Library, in front of you is like the Games Library,
Yeah.
which is, 100 plus tables,
Yep.
the way you can just hire board games and play. To your right is like the big Good Games store, where it's just a stall made of board games.
Yeah. Yep.
And then the rest sort of circling the perimeter is all the other traders. So we walked in and we sussed out the War Library. It's all historical stuff and all that. So I wasn't super interested. The old magazines were cool.
Yeah, I got one from, it was a War Games Illustrated or whatever it's called, from my birth month and year.
Yeah. May 1992.
No. July. Close.
May.
Close.
It may be. I was going
I'll
to say it
pay
may be
that.
1992, but also July.
Yeah, July.
Yeah. And they were like $1 each.
He didn't even charge me for it.
Oh, real?
Because someone,
what's $1?
was it you or someone? And he's like, I can't even give these away.
Yeah, he said that to me. Yeah, yeah. Because I was looking at one and I was like, "Oh, it's so cool!" Because
Yeah.
it's like all old stuff from like 1992 or 93, 94. And so I was like, "Oh, so cool." He's like, "Only $1." I'm like, "Yeah, so dope." And I put it back. He's like, "Man, I can't even give them away." I was like,
You
"Well,
did.
you didn't give it
You gave
away.
it to me."
You charging me $1."
One guy, the first guy that served me, like I picked up a bunch of sprues for sludge, and I'm like, this, and it comes to like $63 or something, and I'm like, oh yeah, plus this one. He's like, oh okay, cool, 64. Goes to old mate with he had a calculator.
Yeah.
Hands in the calculator with the 63, whatever, and I'm like, oh yeah, don't forget this. And
Yeah.
The guy's like, don't worry about it.
There you go, dude. A free $1 magazine.
Best day of my life.
What have you done with it?
Read it, and it's over there.
You read it?
I flicked through the pages.
You flicked through the pages?
Yeah.
What's something
Yeah.
you saw that was cool?
Stuff.
Yeah.
It's all historical
That's what I
stuff.
thought. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I bet it is. Spoken like a man who's never flipped the cover. All right.
I smelled it.
Ah, the smell.
Smells like 1992.
Yeah, I bet.
Tobacco.
And then what? And then we just strolled a lap.
Yeah, yeah.
What's really cool is like I've been to PAX and stuff and conventions before, and I feel like I walk around once and I'm okay. I'm done.
Yeah.
Like I've seen all that. I know where everything is. Whereas I felt like CanCon, every time I was lapping around, there was just more stuff to discover. Like
Yeah.
so many stalls where it's like they've got shelves, but then but each shelf is like there's like this little 1 foot area that has just this stuff.
Yep.
And then another that just has this stuff, and it's like you'd have to be. You're like, oh wow, that's cool. They got like Warmer Horde stuff here, and then it's like, oh, and they've got some like of these old like tank kits,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it's like, oh, they got some, but
Just
once you do 3 shelves of that, you're
everything.
like, I want to know everything that's here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like each store was almost like that. Like
Yeah.
everywhere you go, like I was finding things like we were there for 2 of the 3 days, and the second day, at the end of the second day, I'm still finding stuff that I didn't. I missed from the whole day we were there earlier.
Yeah, yeah,
It's crazy.
It was awesome.
So much. It was. You warned me because you went to CanCon way back in the day, just as you were kind of like dabbling in and out of the hobby, right? And like I think it was before you got me into it.
It was after I came back from Queensland.
Okay, yeah. So
it was probably it might have been 7 years ago.
Yeah.
6 or 7 years ago.
and you're like, don't expect it to be like PAX. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm expecting like just garbage.
Yeah.
And it blew my mind. It was amazing.
It was way better.
Yeah.
And I kept trying to think while I was there. I was like, is this the same as when I was here 7 years ago, just slightly bigger? But I'm just more aware of how it all works now, because when I really didn't know much about it, and we stumbled upon it when I went last time.
Yep. Yeah.
We were staying Australia Day long weekend with like some family in Canberra, and I just happened to be looking for tabletop game stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's this convention on. I was like, oh, that's cool. Let's check it out. And like you can imagine, because everything's sort of happening in different buildings.
Yeah.
The Traders Hall is one building. The secondhand market's another one. There's 2 different buildings for tournaments.
That's kind of works against it, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think like the games and all the tournaments needs to happen in its own space, right? But like the fact that everything else is spread over these different buildings,
Yeah.
I think it's kind of
It's tricky.
Yeah, it is, because like if you're unfamiliar with the place, it's hard finding everything.
It's not like it's well marked either. Like
Nah.
the buildings are called Quokka,
Yeah, yeah.
and you have to know that Quokka is a secondhand store. They
Yeah.
need like big old signs on those buildings. Like even at the entry, that would help a ton. But
Yeah.
it just wasn't. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we were strolling through, kind of lost. We went into one that I guess was like an RPG room that was just like cold and dark, and it was like kind of going into a saloon where everyone like stops what they're doing and watches you.
Oh, yeah.
This was the years ago that we went.
I didn't find the RPG room this time.
No, I don't know if it. Yeah, I don't know if it existed. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But yeah, this time it seemed a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm glad I underhyped it because it was great.
Yeah. Nah, it was incredible. It was everything I hoped for and more. And speaking of the second-hand store, shout out to Matt and the Sutherland Shire Gaming Club
Yeah,
who run that.
yeah,
So they've taken that off CanCon,
yeah.
or the Canberra Gaming Association or whatever they're called.
Sure.
And they run that. And yeah, I spoke to Matt there, and I actually met him at PAX last year.
Yeah.
One of the homies that listens to the show. So
Oh, there you go.
yeah, if
Oh,
you're
that's
in
cool.
Sydney, South Sydney, check out the Sutherland Shire Gaming Club.
It's very cool. I think they must do something like people drop off their secondhand goods and they organize it all. Or,
I think so. Yeah,
and take sale, and then
there must be some incredible stock take for that.
yeah, I
It's
can't.
just nuts.
I couldn't imagine the logistics of that. That blows my mind. Like people just have. They must have had the codes on there or something, and that was
Yeah.
attributed to whoever like sold it or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they must get a cut, and then yeah. Anyways, I thought the secondhand market was amazing. Just a little bit tricky because like you can buy early access basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Bit pay to win. Like you spend 20 something bucks,
Yeah.
and you can go in an hour before everyone else.
But you still have to queue up.
You still have to queue up, and it was a massive queue.
It was, wasn't it?
People were queued from probably like 9 o'clock
Yeah.
to get in at 10:30, and then when we sort of went over at 10, that queue was full. That early access queue was full, ready to
Yeah.
get in at 10:30.
Yeah, yeah.
And the one that wasn't going to get until 11:30 had already
They
started.
queuing up. It was crazy.
So
it was nuts.
like, and I could tell why, because when we went through, there was still some fantastic stuff in there.
There was some good deals.
So if that's what's left over, I could only imagine there was some like you could. I think I worked it out. You could have started a Custodes 40K army for like $300.
Yeah, yeah,
Based
yeah.
on all the second, and it's already built for you. All you have to do
Yeah.
is prime over the shitty paint jobs that were in there,
Yeah, yeah.
and redo it yourself.
Yeah.
It was crazy. They had like I think 3 of those jet bikes is normally $100. There was 3 of them, but one was missing a stand. It was $25.
Wow. That's day one price.
I was
right?
like, that was day 2 price
Oh,
actually,
okay.
because I remember thinking, if that's still there tomorrow, $25.
Yeah, yeah,
Day
yeah.
1 price was 35 or something.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was like, that's still crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I was like, I should just buy that. But then like, then I'll buy a whole Custodes army. Then it's not $35. It's $400.
yeah, yeah.
And there was another army, the for Age of Sigma, the dwarves, the
Oh, the Sky Dwarves?
yeah, Sky
Yeah.
Dwarves. You could have done a whole, like their ships are always the expensive ones
Dude,
and really annoying to build.
there was a whole box of Carriage Overlord
Yeah,
stuff.
Carriage on Overlords.
And
That's
like
right.
day
yeah.
2, it was still full.
I know. That's when I saw it. I was like, damn, some of these prices.
But like, it's obviously like people go there, and especially the people that like get in there early, probably competitive players, right?
Yeah.
They want their way in cheap, than they can.
Yeah.
And like, you can kind of tell what's good and what's not, because
Yeah.
like Carriage and Overlords are probably not very good at the moment in Age of Sigmar.
You would
Hence
assume.
why there was a full box of them.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Or like the units that were in there are the ones that aren't that good or whatever.
Yeah.
There were tons of the frigates, like the big things.
They're so cool though, man.
I know, so cool. I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, because I think the big one, they had 2 big ones in there.
Hmm.
I want to say they're like 150 plus,
Yeah.
and they had them in there for like $60, and I was
Yeah.
like, I think I want one just to have it.
True.
But anyways, there's like so much stuff like that. It's like, that secondhand store was filled with, that's such a good price, I should buy it just for the price kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So you really got to like have your wits about you.
And the board games too, though. Like in that same secondhand stall, I saw one guy walk out with Sleeping Gods, which was a Kickstarter board game, which I really wanted to get my hands on. But I saw him with it, and then I think I went back in looking for it.
Yeah.
Couldn't find
Gone,
it.
yeah. Classic.
Must have been like only one copy in there or something.
I saw a Sidral Confluence there. I think you pointed it out. That was $25. It's a $100 game.
Yep.
It's crazy.
You could have had 3 copies here.
I know. Just in case you lose 2 on me. I should give you a copy just in case you want to lose one on me.
Yeah.
Like a decoy.
Yeah.
So then I still have 2.
Yeah.
It's good. I like that. That's a good strategy. So that was cool. I feel like the traders alone, I could have just done laps for a full day.
Yeah.
That's kind of actually all we did.
Yeah, we didn't do heaps.
Like we wandered through the tournaments and we kind of like watched games, but I reckon we probably spent an hour looking through other areas.
Yeah.
And the rest of the time was just at the traders thing.
Yeah, because there was just so much to see. Like, Brutal Cities was there.
Yeah.
Medbury Miniatures.
Yeah, we
His
were there
stuff
for
was
ages.
I think I went back like 6 times.
At
like,
least.
They were probably like sick of us by then.
There was one time where I was like, I wonder where Shane is. I'm like, oh, dumb question. I'll go check out Medbury Miniatures. And I went there and you weren't there.
Oh, damn.
And I was shook. And I walked off and texted you. I'm like, where are you, dude? You're like, I'm at Medbury Miniatures. I was like, Mac, I go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Check it out if you can. I mean, it's a local. I don't know how easy it is to get his stuff internationally.
Yeah.
He's got STLs though on My Mini Factory.
He does.
So
yeah.
go to Medbury Miniatures. I don't know what the website is. Google that shit.
Yeah.
Because his stuff, the sculpts and the actual metal miniatures, it blew me away.
It's a one-man show. He sculpts them. He casts them. He does everything himself. Obviously, his wife helps him too.
Yeah.
She was half running the store when...
She was fully running the store.
Yeah, pretty much. He was just
chatting.
talking about all this shit. She's like just slinging out bloody pewter white metal miniatures.
Everyone was just blown away by how it's kind of like it's got that old classic metal model feel
Oh, doesn't it?
with modern sculpting.
One thing he said was like, he's like, I miss the golden age of buying miniatures for like $5 a miniature.
Yeah.
You know, like you go and you buy a character and he costs you $5. And he's like, he wanted to bring that back, and he has.
If that's cost effective for him,
Yeah.
that's so good because they were like $5 a miniature.
Yeah, like why should they pay $70 a miniature?
Yeah.
You know, like it's just like it was so awesome, and
What a legend.
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
actual legend, and like a box of like 8 little dudes was like $30.
And they're so good.
oh, they're incredible.
You bought a heap.
I bought a
We'll show
stack.
Churchy after. That blow you away, man.
I actually ordered more when I got home because
Yeah.
I was going through everything I've got, and I'm like, oh, I'm just short of my Sludge Army on the website.
Yeah,
I
actually-
bought like everything I needed for like $50, including shipping.
It's funny.
It's just like it's nuts.
I got this Dr. Doom, what do you call it, pop vinyl.
Oh yeah.
I got it ages ago. It was like going up in price, and I was sort of like thinking about getting into pops. And so I bought this thing for like $50, and I checked before it, and someone's trying to sell one for $400 or whatever.
Wow.
But most people are selling it for like $175, $200. I was like,
Still though.
I'm gonna sell this for $120 tonight and buy $120 worth of Medbury miniatures.
Yeah.
That was my first thought
Hell yeah.
because they're insane. They're insane. You have to check them out. They're nutty. So many people. I was just standing I was kind of hogging the glass cabinet.
True.
And every person that was walking past would be like, you know, he sculpts these, and they'd be like, oh, what?
Yeah,
By
yeah.
hand? I'm like digitally, but then he casts these himself.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh wow, that's crazy. This is really good. I'm like, it's actually insane.
And he was explaining how, like, obviously his cast work. Like, it's like everything, right? There's 2 parts to the cast. And he was saying everything sort of has to be on its side. But it's amazing how dynamic the poses could still be with that limitation.
It didn't feel, you couldn't tell.
Nah.
You couldn't tell. He had some incredible, yeah. And it's great that they're STLs as well. So for the international people that won't get those beautiful metal sculpts,
They can still print them.
And they come up a treat.
So good. So Ollie's printed some. Amazing.
There's some posts in our Discord. So Sus in our 3D printed channel, I think is where he dropped it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Recently. So check that out.
Very cool.
And then day one after that, we went to the old Canberra Inn.
You know what? Before we went to the Canberra Inn, something else. So we went to Medbury Miniatures 6 times. That was a mainstay. Something I was like a magnet to.
Oh, yeah?
Fjord Serpents.
Oh, true.
We walked past it once.
Yeah.
You kind of nudged me as I'm like, just like kind of looking around like a deer in the headlights. You nudged me like, that's really cool. Did you see it at PAX?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
you
at
said
PAX.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking like, we've wanted a naval game.
Yeah.
And Armada didn't quite do it. I'm like, that's going to do it.
Yeah, you nudged me like, this game's cool over here. And I was like, oh my God. It's Viking
Vikings.
longboats
Yep.
with little Viking soldiers in it. There's crossbowmen, and it's on a beautiful like ocean mat, and there's like a little island with like a little camp there. I'm like,
And a wrecked longship too. Did you see that?
oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wrecked longship, and it was like $140, and you could split the starter set for 2 people. I'm like, wait, $70 to play this game?
Yeah.
But at the time, anyway, we'll talk about that. There's an episode coming out next week about
yeah.
Fjord Serpents, so that is a spoiler to how much we got drawn back to that.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And that was across from Medbury Miniatures, so it was like just
just
every time we stop at one,
bouncing from the each other.
we were like little pinballs. You know when you're like smacking the thing and it just nicking the corner and it's just like din, 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 din. We were like that.
Yep.
Yeah. You know the old pinball game on 98?
Or like a real pinball machine.
What's that? What's that like? Space pinball, Space Invaders. Yeah, and then we went to the old Canberra Inn, and what a gem! What an absolute gem!
Yep. Good pub.
Good pub.
Great pub. If you're in Canberra, check it out.
Yeah, there was like in the inside's like an old warm tavern.
Yep.
The outside's like a beer garden, and like it was perfect weather. Anyway,
So good.
day 2, recover from our Canberra Inn and excitement hangovers.
Yep.
And in the morning, I was like, oh man, we gotta go play a demo of that Fjord Serpents.
Before that, the farmer's market.
Oh yeah,
This is us showing our age right now.
Yeah.
I've never been excited for a farmer's market until that day.
Yo, I got up at 5:30.
You were up early. I got up and I'm like, I'm watching you walk up the street with a coffee in
You're
hand.
coming back from the farmer's market, yeah.
I'm just like, what?
By the time you woke up,
You've got a spring in your step with your
I've
coffee
already
in your
been
hand.
at the farmer's market for an hour. And you guys are like, oh, is it any good? I'm like, oh, at the food? And I'm like, it's got this stall and this stall and this stall.
Yeah, so close.
And it was so unexpected too, because like, we saw it. We saw where it was, but we didn't know it was on every Saturday.
Yeah.
So we just strolled past it, through it. We had some incredible food. And it was great. Even just walking around and seeing it, it's very cool.
Very cool.
I'm like, oh man, this person has radishes. Who buys radishes?
Radishes.
Someone. They're expensive and your thing's half empty.
Yeah.
Didn't know it was radish season. You gonna say something, Rory?
Yeah, his first
Oh,
bagel.
first ever bagel.
How was it? It was like a savoury donut, yeah? Yeah.
Did you say amazing or did you say amazing?
amazing.
Amazing. We're mocking him because he has allergic reactions to what we can only assume is Churchy's beard.
Or water.
Or water.
He's gotten worse.
Amazing. Yeah. He did have some water before.
Yep.
Yep. So the farmer's market was dope. We did one last lap of CanCon. We were like, oh, Rory, we just want to sit down and play a quick demo game of Fjord Serpents. He was like, okay, cool. I'll go sit down at a chair. 2 hours later, we're like, all right, we're done, Rory. And he was like, yeah, I'm in the car. Because the person I sat,
why he went to the
because the person he sat next to
was upwind of a fan.
and had not showered. He sat next to you with a fan on the other side, blowing his yesterday's stew into you. And Rory was like, I gotta go hop in the car.
You gave him greasy.
You gave him a greasy. I don't think he saw you, man.
Nah.
On the other side of his. True. So there was a little bit of that at CanCon. I did
Yep.
like that every second stall seemed to have like Rexona cans lined
Did
up.
you see the X-Wing tournament?
Yeah.
It was like 8 cans there.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair
Quite
to
a
X-Wing
pallet
players,
of Rexona.
they've been up all night list building,
Yeah.
so they needed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. That X-Wing store was such a stereotype. It's like
Oh.
every other store had like 1 or 2 cans.
They had 8.
They had
like,
8.
No joke.
It was the
So
biggest
many.
tournament, I think, though. I think it had like
Yeah.
60 players.
Looks like
so
it had the most tables.
maybe that was it. I'm not to say any other reason. So it was great. And we said goodbye to CanCon. And then when
Yeah.
we went over to our friend MJ,
Yeah.
OG homie,
Yeah.
GOAT.
Absolutely.
GOAT status, at
Yep.
least.
Yep.
And
From way back when.
from early days. And she hosted 13 Wargamers
Something like that.
in a
at
Canberra
least.
apartment,
Yep. Yep.
which is a relic, a museum of sorts of wargaming.
She has everything.
It's like the second... if
Like
you-
one of everything, if not more.
Yeah. It's like, well, what do you mean one of everything of what? Well, just think of something.
Think of something in the war game.
One of those.
And she's got it.
Yeah, one of those.
She might even have 2 of them.
Yeah, but she doesn't probably know.
No.
Probably in that box.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
yeah, it's incredible. It was incredible. And some of the painted miniatures, there was Dead Man's Hand, I think, in one of the cabinets upstairs that blew me
Oh,
away.
yeah.
Some
Yeah.
of the old Star Wars minis.
Lord of the Rings minis.
And just cool relics, too.
Yeah.
Like the bell.
She had a bell which was made from the scrap metal of a shot down German plane.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, what?
A victory bell.
A victory
Yeah.
bell, yeah.
And there was like a fencing sword up on her wall as well. It's
Yep.
like, oh man, if I get too drunk later, that's in danger.
You weren't. Good thing it was upstairs though, because you weren't getting up those stairs.
No, I wasn't, because I had just destroyed whatever beverages I brought with
Yeah.
me.
Plus there was Warhammer. What's the new one? Imperialis. Epic was on the stairs.
Oh, right.
You're gonna
right.
climb over that
Yeah.
gigantic box.
I'd have been like, ooh,
Yeah.
epic.
Yep.
And so then we played Necromunda with Kane.
Rad.
Rad.
Yep.
He taught us Necromunda. He taught me again.
Rad and I played Necromunda.
You're right. I participated early. I watched my things get destroyed. And then I became but a vapor. I was but a
Shell
vapor.
of a man.
That's absolute husk.
Yep.
I didn't realize that I had drank so many beers in such a short amount of time after such a long previous day.
We had a massive weekend. Like, we didn't like do heaps, but there was just so much to take in.
Yeah.
And it's like the same thing at PAX, right? It's just like stimulus overload.
Yeah, it was nuts.
And like trying to absorb it all, it just takes so much energy.
And we're used to our tiny little cozy studio with at most 4 people.
Yeah.
And then you throw us in with the people, the humans that are the CanConians.
The beings.
The
The
beings.
Canberrarians.
So it was a big day. We only had the goal was to play Necromunda, then Mordheim, and then I would teach people Shatterpoint, and then we would pass out. And then when we came to, we would stumble home. That was the plan. But we sped up the last part.
Yep.
And I just drank too much and got too tired too quick. And then Moose squished me, and that took out all the energy I had.
Yeah. Moose realigned something in my spine.
Yeah, he squished my intestines and my testicles.
Oh, like from the inside.
Yeah.
You poor soul.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
Your guts rearranged.
Yeah. You could say that. You could say that. It was good fun. I liked it. But that was the last bit of energy I had left.
Yeah,
and then we
nice.
walked all the way down to this place. I was hoping for a coffee because they're like, oh, it's a cafe. But then I turned off. They said, oh, it's a cafe. And then,
And it was 4:50 in the afternoon or something.
yeah, and we went down
to
there.
get coffee.
Macca's does coffee till midnight.
Go to Macca's.
I couldn't. I was way too drunk.
You begged and pleaded with that girl.
Yeah.
She's just like, please, sir, I just
Bro,
work here.
she was an NPC. That's not my fault.
Because you're like, so there's absolutely no chance of getting a coffee. And she's just like, yes.
Yeah. I know, but first she came out and she was like, hello. And I was like, is there any chance you can do coffees? And it's funny because she said the exact line that Moose and everyone else had said. She was like, it's just a cafe from during the day and then at night it's
Yeah, it's a restaurant.
it's a restaurant. I was like, okay. No problem.
Nepalese restaurant.
And then she went away and she came back and I was like, so there's no chance of getting a coffee? She was like, yes. I was like, so I can get a coffee? She's like, no, from during the day, it's
repeated the line again.
cafe.
You ask the NPC the same question,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get the same scripted answer.
It's one of those NPCs that only has one option. Though.
So don't press X to interact.
Yeah, it's like ask about the coffee or exit.
Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.
You should have just started with goodbye. Dude.
Yeah. Goodbye should have been like, oh, it's a cafe from. So anyway, so I did get my coffee, and that was the end of me. But it was great fun. I love playing. I love watching you guys play Necromunda.
Yeah.
I love
won.
watching. Did you?
Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
Rad's not here.
Yeah, I was going to say you're making this up because I have no recollection, and Rad's not here to defend it.
Rad probably won by victory points, but I was just murdering.
I do remember I set you on fire. That was kind of the highlight of my
Yeah, and
game.
I stopped, dropped, and rolled, bro.
Yeah, he did. I came back. I went and got a beer. Shotgun then. Came back and I was like, how's Shane doing? He's on fire. Rad was like, he's not on fire anymore.
Yeah, and
Like,
two of your
did
guys
I-
are dead.
I was like, did I kill him? He's like, no, you didn't kill him, but he killed you. I was like, but I set him on fire. I don't like this game.
And then you're out, your gun ran out of ammo.
Yeah.
Flick the can. Spilled beer all over the ground.
That's right. I forgot all about
You
that.
blame me for it. Jack, this new homie we met, Jack, comes in. He's like, what happened? And you're like, oh, Shane did this. And he full-on believed you.
That's
He's like, I don't know, bro, you look pretty guilty. I'm just
I was already
sitting
gone by
here.
the time. So
I'm just sitting here.
I came back and I was like, what happened? It's like, is Shane still on fire? They're like, no, he's not on fire. He killed your guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to shoot him with this guy.
Yeah.
And
Missed.
then Rad said, oh, unless your gun jams. I was like, And then I missed and my gun jammed.
Yeah.
And then you like roll maybe to see what happens to your gun.
See if you can reload it.
And then I rolled and he was like, oh, you can't use it for the rest of the game.
And you're just
And I
like,
was just like, that's what I can. Yeah, I got
we just
you.
made contact.
Yeah, it was high five.
Tip stashed.
So I smacked the can. I forgot the beer was in there still. I just assumed it was empty.
It's because you always leave like one mouthful left.
Yeah, for that reason. I want my impact to be known. And then, Jack came over. Anyway. And then I heard him saying that to you. I heard him go, oh, you look pretty guilty. I was already gone.
I'm just like, what? Like it was happening so fast, and I'm getting blamed for it. Jack's like, yeah, you look like you did it.
Which doesn't make any sense. You're up that end of the table.
I know.
Yeah. He'll believe anything.
Anyway.
Gullible Jack. That's
Yeah.
what we call him. So, it was good fun. It was good. That one Necromunda game, it was good fun for you guys, I think.
It was good fun. It's an interesting game. It's got a lot of depth to it, but the rules very intuitive once you understand what's going on.
And, like, Rad just throws us the simple rules.
Oh,
For
yeah.
us simple people.
Yeah.
But I did watch some other people play, what was that? Medieval game?
Baron's War.
Baron's War. It does look very good. Every time I was like, what's happening now? Moose would be like, oh, this is happening. That's what he
You weren't
sounds like.
listening, yeah.
Yeah.
Why did he sound like a I don't know, like a NPC?
It's
Sims,
the
yeah.
Sims. He was underwater.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
That's what it sounded like to me, because he was saying things that didn't make any sense to me.
And
He
you
was
were-
like, yeah, so this guy, what I did is I charged.
And then I rolled.
And then I rolled a 6.
And then.
And then I see, but you see when you charge into the, like if they're behind the wall and then you charge into them, what happens is, I'm just like, I already want to play.
Yeah.
You had me. Yeah. So that was cool. But
Yep.
alas, I didn't have enough energy, believe it or not, to teach people Shatterpoint.
No.
So we hightailed it. We got an early night, which was fantastic.
Yeah. Needed.
Much needed. And then
Yeah.
we moseyed on home and here we are in the
Stop
aftermath.
past the place of good drink.
Here we are, yeah.
Got some beers and some stickers.
That place was incredible. There's a crash plane on the front of this can.
Did you see the crash plane at the front of the joint?
And there was a crash plane at the front of the joint. That's
Yeah.
what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You stole my thunder. Anything else you want to say that I was going to say?
I drove good.
You drove the whole way home. And then Rory has the audacity to be like, we offered. I'm like, we definitely didn't offer, dude.
No, we shared the drive up.
Yeah.
I was just cruising.
No, we didn't share the drive up.
I drive like 80% of the day out for work anyway, so I was just like, I'm just behind the wheel, I'm just trucking, bro.
It was a 10-hour drive up. And after 2 hours, I was like, "Whew, I am past. Let's stop for a drink and maybe we can swap drivers."
I was just like, fuck this, I'm just going to keep driving.
Yeah. And then I think Rory jumped in for 2, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Oh man, I've been driving for what, 2 hours now?" And you're like, "All right, I'll take back over." So you drove like 6 on the way up and then the full 8 on the way back.
8. By some of you guys stopped to run a
Excuse me?
train.
What?
Remember the sushi train?
Oh, bro.
It took us like
that
12 hours to get home.
That was a great sushi train, wasn't it? Me and Rory just went dappers on that
You're
sushi
like,
train.
you won't like that. You should order this. And it took like 45 minutes for my food.
I can't predict stuff like that.
I ordered ramen, bro.
You're like, I don't really like seafood or like sushi and stuff. I'm like, well, you won't like the sushi train. You might like the ramen.
After that, I was like, you know what? Fuck these guys. I'm going to a pub next time.
You could have, dude. But I specifically remember you saying, "Oh, if this is what you guys want to do, let's do it." And I was like, well, all right then. That's what we want to do. Yeah, the Euroa burger.
Yeah, but not the
fan.
Canberra Inn, bro.
No, that food.
Barbecue plate. Holy shit.
So if you're like CanCon is every year, it's usually either for whatever reason Chinese New Year or
Australia
Day weekend.
Yep.
So if you're in Australia, we highly recommend it. We'll be there every year moving forward, and
Yep.
we will see you at the Canberra Inn.
We'll be there.
That food was nutty.
The beers are good.
The live music was sweet.
The band. Hell yeah.
The sights. It was all really good.
Yep. Good vibe.
A lot of weird bugs
Good
in
atmos.
Canberra.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of weird bugs. I don't know if
True.
you guys noticed that. Like the little green one that I made a friend.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that was CanCon.
Yeah. That was it. Thanks for watching. Hope your listening felt like you tagged along with us.
Yeah. Hopefully. Otherwise, this would have been fucking boring.
True.
Yeah, but if it was, thank you for sticking with us to the end anyways. We'll check you out next week when we talk about an actual game. Fjord Serpents. Viking something.
Spoiler alert, there's not many serpents involved.
True. Unless...
But plenty of fjords.
Find out next time.
Yep.
We'd like to thank our patrons because without them, we wouldn't do this. Oh, we would. It would just be really shitty.
Be way more shitty.
So thank you.
Like more shitty.
Yeah. If you're like, oh, this is already pretty bad,
It'd be worse.
you have an opportunity to change that.
Yeah, you can make
for
it
as little as $2 a month. You can join.
Moose. You underwater, bro?
That's not Moose. Moose doesn't sound like that. That's what he sounds like to me.
Ah.
There used to be a joke where he thought I ignored him, but I don't ignore him. I hear him. It just sounds.
Yeah.
He's like Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, he's not like Banjo-Kazooie. Most of you guys are like Banjo-Kazooie to me, I'll be honest. I don't really listen to other people. I'm a narcissist.
Yeah, you are. Incredibly.
But thank you to our patrons, who I care deeply about.
Doubt it. Doubt
We'd like to thank...
Massive shout out to our patrons. As always, we have the GOATs. We have Burnsy, Final Dinosaur, Gridlock, Axe, Annex, MJ. Thank you, MJ. Test Dummy and Black Apollo.
Brandon W, Moose, thanks, Alco, Churchy, Rad Rooster, Ollie Hockers, Penny, Aggro, Don Hua, Don Pure, Blind Promenade, Jackson V, and Fat Boy and Big Roach. Thank you all for your continued support. It's nutty. Every single month you give us money when you could be spending it on literally anything else.
Yep.
Like anything else.
Anything like hobby.
Like anything.
But instead you give it to us, in which we give to Churchy.
And then he gives to us in the form of making our content not
We've
shit.
definitely got the better deal.
Yeah, we just sit here and
We
we
just
just,
sit
funnel the money to him.
Yeah, no, but then we get the end product we get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do we
Worth.
do? What do we even do?
Nothing, dude.
What do? You do nothing.
It's
Yeah,
entertainment.
you just sit
hey,
there.
you're looking a lot better, dude. Your eyes aren't anywhere near as red. And
Yeah. Yeah, you're less pale. You're a little bit less wet too.
Big shout out to Rory, who tagged along, who isn't a tabletop war gamer, but he went all the way to and from Canberra and wandered around the joint. And
You're the MVP, Rory.
Hell yeah, dude.
Boys.
We would have
The
had a
boys.
shit time if it had just been us.
Yeah, imagine just
People don't know it, but
him
we
and
don't
I.
like each other.
I know.
It's like when you find out like two actors on a show. Oh, that's conceited. We're obviously not famous.
No.
But like,
Oh,
yeah, you find out they hated each
Mythbusters.
other. Like Vin Diesel and The Rock.
Really?
When you're like, oh, they actually didn't film like any scenes together in the Fast and Furious
Yeah.
series because they got beef or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like that. We just pull it together for 30 minutes, 30.
44 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
roughly, give or take. Anyways, we'll continue to do that for you guys, for our loyal fans.
See you next week.
Toodles.
Hooroo.
Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing